Hi guys, and welcome to the Rocket League Replays YouTube channel. Today we want to present the video replay of the match between Concord University and Fisher College during the Collegiate Rocket League Fall 2024. Don't forget to subscribe and put a like. Enjoy.
Concord make the lower bracket run of the century.
The Northwood Wolfpack has licked their wounds in the lower finals, just waiting for an opponent to appear. Concord has answered the call. Both teams aiming to make their second grand final of the season. Novanta, I am pleased to be alongside you in the booth for a series this important.
Yeah, talking about what it means to be champions, what it means to be winners. Of course, I'm in the booth with the biggest winner I know, Danger Taco.
And I'd hope to be as big of a winner of some of these teams because, I mean, we've seen some really classic matches from all of them. We've seen reverse sweeps. We've seen some denied sweeps even earlier on in the day. And honestly, day one had some action. If y'all have not been checking out the brackets, there's always streams floating around. But this is the mainstream now. This is where the big dogs do play around. And I'm really fascinated to see how this one goes because the storylines have all been flipped. You asked me this question, who's going to win this matchup a couple months ago? I'd probably be leaning towards Northwood, but as we both mentioned, we're on desk picking Concord just because we know this team has really impressed us, and it's not even just flashes in the pan. They're consistent, getting back again to a top 3 finish.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's certain kind of moments in this game of Rocket League that you won't forget. You'll remember forever. And for me, it was last week, seeing 14 games of Rocket League in the final. That's when you're slotted in there. And Zanil says, you know what? Forget all that blabbering. It's time for some scoring.
And Zanil being able to take a nice one, but then Cream's just noting that Helix, all you got to do is just try to get through me or try to go over me. Nope, you're still going to get bumped. Easy goal as you like, and being able to see Northwood just walk that right down Main Street. It's a difficult one to give up, but ultimately that's just a classic issue. You're going to have one-on-ones or maybe even a 2v1. Northwood usually finds a way to make that one count.
Yeah, absolutely. If the first goal was like a triple tap somewhere, you would say, oh man, they came to play. But walking it in the goal is a completely defensive miscue, something you don't want to have too often if you're Concord.
Crispy's going to get a nice extension out on this one. However, he's going to be met by the wall that is Zanil. Helix will try to also get one out, and we'll be able to circumvent actually a decent number of challenges. Problem is, he has nobody in the zip code to help him out. Simas going to get there a little bit late, so Crispy will risk his own venture with limited boost. Gets the first flick off. Simas going to challenge that one. Bounce down. Helix might have it out for Zanil, sending him back into his half with a mighty bump.
I like the fact that Creams is willing to be bold enough to take on 2 defenders at once. Not the most smartest play, but I like the idea of having that individual effort being aggressive, especially early on in the series.
Helix, open shot, almost threaded that needle, but the double commit from Northwood, able to keep that one down. So it doesn't seem like Concord are going to be too hurt by giving up that first goal. They're able to still mount some decent offense of their own and maybe even some solo play. Flip reset still locked in, using it delayed with a 50. No follow-up as Helix trying to play it safe. I don't really blame him for that approach.
Yeah, you know, I understand the idea of making sure you understand what you're saying, what the plans are, whether you're on offensive or on defensive. Not much scoring opportunities. I don't think you're going to have another opportunity to walk in a goal like that so much in this series. But what I am getting a little frustrated about is both teams' kind of propensity to go to the wall to hang out there like it's a cool part of town. You got to be able to use the width of the pitch and down the middle of the lanes, too.
Sometimes you can just be able to pick off passes right in the middle of that lane. Crispy got the interception, which will lead to hockey. Throwing it awkwardly. Helix from an angle gets that over Creams, and that one is a great way to open up your score sheet.
Well, we were saying this in the last series about Concord. They're just so good playing off the ceiling and the floor. I don't think a lot of teams realize that one, and that was right in Helix's wheelhouse.
And I do like that shot as well. It's really difficult to be able to get that angle because you're not coming directly from the sidewall, but you are coming from a little bit of a diagonal. You need to be able to get that power off, but so many players just hit it on target with no real placement. Putting it high, a little bit behind Cream's great way to be able to mix things up. Kind of like cutting the ball across rotation from Simas. Would love support there, but I suppose he'll just provide it himself. Tap down into Crispy, looking for a high lob. Zanil doesn't have the best of clears, which is why everyone on Concord backing up, ramping up for the hook shot off the corner, and Helix not close enough to be able to make that one count.
I like the points for pressure there in the case of Concord, but sometimes I gotta ask, you know, I understand distribution is important, but be a little selfish, like Crispy was selfish right there, sliding that one in bottom 90.
This is a duo you're going to be seeing a lot. Usually one causes chaos, then the other one feeds off it. Hockey gets the flat tire in Simas. Problem is you need someone to follow it up. Felt like there was a little confusion. Zanil wasn't 100% sure if he could challenge, and in that hesitation, that's where you dive in if you're Crispy.
Yeah, absolutely. There's only one mistake you can make in Rocket League besides playing the game if you don't want to get frustrated, is being hesitant. And that's what happens. A good team will see you do that little split second of you deciding what to do and capitalize every time. What a shot there from Helix!
But again, that's a combination of multiple factors. The biggest two, trust in your teammates and the willingness to cut rotation. Helix knows that CMOS probably has that read, and so does Northwood. They're going to wait for it. It doesn't come in. That's why Helix is there for the immediate putback. It's a simple touch, but the strategy and the coordination you need to pull that off should not be understated.
Yeah, but you see at the same time, though, the comms in the VC of a conceding a goal quite like that, where 2 of 3 of your battle cars are caught flat-footed or flat-wheeled or whatever. Those are the ones that really have that kind of tension inside your team. Those are psychological goals, if I ever said so myself.
Creams going to be well beaten out there by CMOS trying to get to it, but not really anything to do in on this one. Giveaway from Northwood means Crispy has a 50. Helix might be able to 50 it again, as I thought that could be the start of a breakaway, but instead, looks like Concord, knowing that they have this lead as the time continues to tick down, they don't need to press anything. They just need to keep doing what they're doing. Get those offensive gambits going, get those little tiny passes into pockets, and watch as Northwood kind of chases around. Not something we often say about their play style, a little frantic on the defensive end.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're looking to be a counter-attack team, and they have something going for them. Concord's boost management has really been subpar in the past 4 games, this one included. So kind of waiting to see if the boost runs out into counter-attack, but you know you can't stay in a counter-attack mode the entire time for a team, because you know you put yourself in a worse position to score, especially when goals are hard to come by.
CMOS able to get a double tap as they try to roll that one down. Higher lob across should be easy for Hockey, even easier when Neil gets a demo in the midfield. Even Crispy all by his lonesome. It's always nice, though, when you have some boost as your companion. 100 in the tank makes that a disruption again. A nice little touch. Watch how often Concord loves to be able to take those air dribbles, just slow down the play, and it forces Northwood into that awkward half-second hesitation where they're wondering, do I have that challenge? Do I need to wait? And all that time, it's more seconds. They don't have a chance to mount a comeback. They don't even have that shot for the comeback, Novanta. The goal line stop.
Man, that was a crispy slow, and there's another one there from Helix. And yeah, you're right. Concord being able to take that solo dribble to take it vertically up. Maybe not enough there. Hockey puts one on the score for Northwood. They're now within 1. Being able to counteract that off the wall is fantastic for them.
It's a really nice fake by Hockey. Crispy with no boost really just had to linger in that. Turning around 180 with no boost is a very slow idea to have to do. So Crispy's trying to stay relevant to it, but since everyone just sees Crispy in front, they're assuming a challenge comes in. Nothing does, and kind of an awkward one to put Northwood back within just 1 goal. With a touch like that could be even worse, but CMOS able to rescue things off the sidewall, trying to lob one more. Hockey gets the win, but you need to keep passes. They are finding the passes every time. They look for them as their first option, and when they're given a lot of space to execute, a lot of times those are going to go in your back of your net. Northwood are not going to be invulnerable when it comes to that approach, as well as giving away a potential breakaway. Helix doesn't have the boost to be able to pass to CMOS, but he still gets another deflection to the back post to maybe start off a continuation of this offense.
Yeah, I like how what you mentioned about pace. I think people think about racing. That's got kind of a cool example. You would think, oh man, put the pedal to the metal, go as fast as you can. But you watch any racing season, Crispy scores first. It's all about the control of how fast, how slow, when to break, when to slow it down. And Crispy, going back to game 1 with that strategy, with the pass back, make sure Concord scores first.
And being able to get that goal through, I really like that one. And again, it's just from continuing the offense and understanding offense isn't really just about one pass, bang, it's on target. Sometimes it's really just about setting up camp, stealing away boosts, making angles difficult, and eventually defense runs out of option, especially if they get impatient and just try to go for the home run clear all the way down the field. If they don't take their angle seriously, if they don't play just as patient as the offense, then they can really give up an easier goal. And right there, Northwood again just kind of choking under the pressure. It's so hard to be able to build up a wall when it seems like there's just waves of pressure crashing against it every single moment.
Yeah, when you see teams like this, if you're Northwood, you're probably like, well, how do I counteract that? And it comes down to what you did in the training pitch, because if you can master lateral and back passes to really fake out an offensive attack to your point, then you can have them come to you. Northwood's not quite figured it out yet, and that's why they're on the blunt end of a 1-0 scoreline.
CMOS going to be able to tuck that one past one and then pass another one. Fortunately for Creams, he's got no more boost, but Creams also doesn't have anything either. They're both trying to interfere with each other, giving each other the flat tires. You're trying to land underneath the car, but either way, it will be fine. Everything kind of resets here as Northwood, I think, is happy enough to be able to maybe bust out a solo play. Zanil with a triple tap. He can get another touch, though.
It was one of the situations you kind of wish the net was higher than where it was. I like the effort there from Zanil. Didn't work out for them, but more efforts like that would only give you opportunity to score later on.
Creams higher lob, Simas backwards aerial, going to be able to get the partial deflection as Crispy and Helix will coordinate. Technically a double, but a nice communication from Helix to let him know that he had a much better angle on it now, who has an angle to stop Zanil as opposed to Simas. The challenge from directly underneath. Concord does that more than any other team. They're willing to just challenge from the weirdest angles, just throw a wrench into your plans.
Yeah, I call that a snow day. That was a body check I ever saw. Went upside down against the wall. Good thing there's no red cars in this sport.
I don't want to think about that. If you could literally bump into a car and make them explode, I feel like that's worthy of at least a warning from the referee. And you need to be warned. And when Northwood starts cooking like that, wide open setup, Hockey, not the follow-up he's looking for. Creams will at least get a boost steal, so maybe something more, but Hockey with only so much boost can only get a partial touch on it. Still not out of the half. Creams looking for a flick. He will only get a light bounce, if any.
Props to Crispy there, because had they scored, that would have been the worst poster, to have all three of your teammates in net watching a goal score right above your heads. That was critical for many different reasons.
Creams getting another hefty flick onto the backboard. Crispy using all his boost to get to that one as Simas gets a fake pass middle. Crispy trying to chase this one down as it looks like Simas actually went for the demo on Creams. Apparently Creams hitting the Northwood gym, just muscling right through that one, kind of completely invalidating all of the aggression. So we'll have to see whether or not anything else can get cooking in the midfield as it's starting to get more and more contentious, like that big challenge from Helix. He thought about biting deep down on that challenge, but knew he'd get beat.
This is pretty interesting, because a lot of times casters would say get more aggressive in a game. We kind of equate that to bumps and demos, and 80% of the time it is. What we're seeing here now is both teams willing to go away from the ball to put someone out of the play, whether it is a bump, whether it just kind of draws the defense, whether it's kind of a playing peekaboo or deking them. I like that, because it really makes you decide in the moment what's more important, being part of an offensive attack or making sure the defense is non-existent.
Well, they're certainly trying to make it non-existent, at least on Northwood. It's a lot of demos, which leads to a wide open read from Hockey, and after a while, he's gonna nail one. He didn't have the approach angle on the past ones. This one, it's a straight shot.
Is it kind of weird because goals are so hard to come by? I was a little afraid that he would have shanked that one, but it doesn't matter there, Taco. The score goes in, the goal goes in, scores the same, one apiece.
Well, the one thing that I will say is a little bit unique in that play is that Hockey does lob it over, and I would say if this was in the past couple months, this type of game, we'd be watching the player kind of go forward and take their time because they know the spawn is going to make the player hesitate. But with the new demo spawn update from Psionics coming on in, you know where you're going to spawn, which means you can immediately turn it and almost pre-jump any defensive play. So good job on Hockey actually popping that one over, immediately recovering to the ground to get his speed back and be able to get that touch. It was a closer option than it might have seemed at the initial. So Concord almost getting away with it, but you can only get the miracle saves so many times passed down. I think he was looking for Creams on different pages that time.
Yeah, absolutely. Those clears are fantastic. They're majestic. They take a lot out of you to make sure you're back in front of them. So you only get so many of those on any particular drive. But speaking of drives, here's Neil's pretty much all alone. Bounce on the ceilings. Anyone like the Callum's Ham, and that one slotted right down the net. And that was not enough to have the go-ahead goal there, Taco.
It's a spooky time whenever you see that dribble get closer and closer. It's even spookier when you have a bump attempt potentially. Zanil gonna bunny hop over the first one. Zanil will then challenge immediately to deflect to the sidewall. Pass middle, Crispy way too late to this one. As Creams reads his mind. An extension as well. Zanil looking for the pass middle. Hockey knows that it's probably not gonna go through, so he'll take his own chance. Flick to this back post. Zanil, higher lob. Creams thinks about it, now acting upon it. Double tap near post at the final touch of regulation. It's not in, maybe in overtime.
As one of those situations, the game was 5-0-1. It would have been a different situation, but of course we had G2 overtime.
Crispy is not happy with this one. He's just trying to get on forward. Northwood definitely pressing their advantage offensively in this game. They are at 9 shots at the start of this overtime. Meanwhile, Concord has only mustered up 3. Helix has not even been able to get on to offense. He's mostly just trying to lock down the back end, getting some of these reads, and I do not blame him. Look at Northwood starting to ramp up the aggression with some demos. Hockey's going for the goalie. Creams an easy stroll into the goal with some mechanics to boot. Game 2 is theirs.
See that critical bump inside a net there is what you needed to really take people off of the game. Simas was waiting, and it really wasn't enough because he was knocked on the side. Northwood gets a little...
The chess match continues.
Hey, personal question there, Taco. When it comes to maps, when it comes to Manfield versus DFH versus Champions Field, where do you stack them?
See, I feel like Champions Field is nice, has like a lot of nostalgia, great games. I just feel like Manfield is the cleanest. Although I will say, Manfield Dusk is the choice for me. That's better than Manfield Night. I will not hear arguments on that.
man of culture, I see. But that's 15 seconds left in game 3, and I wonder will Northwood be as aggressive, or if Concord already figured that out and have a countermeasure in play.
Creams winning through a lot of 50s. He's gonna keep on going. Oh my goodness. They keep trying to get these dainty little touches, Concord, and Creams just powers right through. In fact, he's also gonna steal that corner boost. He's immediately gonna use it as Helix. It does have a better angle to it, and I think Creams is playing for a little bit of a subversion of expectations. Gonna work out, so Concord, at the very least, seemingly ready for any of the bag of tricks that Northwood is trying to throw it out.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think a lot of these people are marked, Zanil and Creams especially. So I think if anyone, this may be the hockey game, because that's the one I think it has the most space and the most time alone being unchecked by defense.
Crispy. Off the corner, Creams from a weird angle. That one's going to roll right into the middle. Hockey was a little bit late to this one, but honestly, I think he was just trying to calculate that one out. Good comms from Concord, being able to keep this one going up until, I suppose, that double commit. Probably shouldn't be counting my eggs of Concord before they really do hatch, as they still have a lot to coordinate, have a lot of teamwork that they do lock in, but it's inevitable in a series like this that both teams will commit to some challenges and be sending maybe one too many men.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a bit of not a pressure necessarily, because it's still early yet in this game, but almost a desire from Concord to be the first ones to open the scoring here after dropping that last game. You're seeing some things we only see from them when they're at the brink of elimination, like really pushing up their line of offense. You only see that happen so often in a series, and we're seeing it right now here in Game 3.
Hockey. 50 down, Creams going to be met with a similar fate, just a 50 straight into the ceiling for Zanil to latch onto. Nice clear down by Simas, as Hockey is going to try and catch this one. Crispy kind of just waiting for the response, but his pre-jump is a little bit off kilter. He was not able to actually get his angles down. You can't say the same about Hockey. He gets past two, almost a bump on Helix. Good job from the back man to be able to avoid it.
That ball was on a tee for anyone. I could have seen any play, offensive play coming out of that one, but it was all for naught. So I got to give everyone credit there. What a shot down, and a shot sits it wide. But having himself an opportunity to score, it only didn't work out for them.
Zanil, that's on the goal line. Simas gets a first save. How about the second one? Hockey near post. He's going to call his own number. Did have a pass available, but I don't blame him for not wanting to overcomplicate things. Sometimes that's the worst option you can take within an offense, is trying to get the cutesy little pass instead of just forcing the defense into another save. Concord still trying to force Northwood into many more saves. Only one recorded so far, as most of their offensive presence just been kind of a light probing from the midfield, maybe just tapping it near the goal, kind of wrapping a lap around, but nothing more direct than that.
Yeah, it's kind of the lull here in this game. I understand there's an idea to put something ahead, but it seems everyone else's playbook here. The ping pong is on. The question now becomes, who's going to control the ground? The ball's going up like that. It's the one who shoots the ball lower. They'll have a chance to have themselves a shot on goal.
Helix, light touch. Crispy's just going to send that one deep, but that's why Simas is already on top of it. He tries to get that redirect, but Creams wisely does play that read high. 50 down will actually be fully lost, but that's fine. Crispy has full control with a flip reset, trying to get back to it. Hockey, I think, saw that first touch maybe a little bit too errant, and now Simas trying to avoid, trying to make the same mistake. Fully boosted up. It's a 1v1. Delayed flick over top of Zanil, but into the ceiling. Helix from an angle, trying to make it count. Crispy was there for a bump, but they just didn't have the angle.
Oh man, if everyone had enough boosts like boomer ball status, this would have been already over. Like having the hard work done, beating the defense right in front of goal, not having enough boost to slot it in there has really been the death knell for both of these teams right now.
We do see another 50 attempt from Simas, and really Northwood willing to absorb that pressure. I will say, even despite all of what we've seen from Northwood, the one thing that stays consistent is their 50 game, and even the passing starting to heat up as well. That one on target, last second save again required from the Lithuanian, as Hockey takes to the air yet again. He might be going for a 50. It's straight down to Zanil, but also to Simas, always seemingly just where they need him.
Again, both drives back-to-back. Simas and Hockey being so close to net, running out of boost and going, oh, okay, well, we tried. Back to the drawing board.
Nice deflection, actually open for Crispy. He's going to try to pass that from the angle all the way into the middle for Hockey. He does not have that double, but he'll back is Helix into the corner with a light tap. He's actually going to miss this one. A bunch of demos. Helix, you are all alone. So is Hockey and Creeves, who bump each other. Not like that.
Oh my goodness, another overtime that could have been prevented. But again, most overtimes can be. But this was interesting. Both of them do their defense and just boost and opportunity and demos with a difference.
And Simas going to avoid that opening shot from Hockey. Instead, it's going to be a counterattack. The skim redirect just wide. Zanil going to half flip. And thankfully, breathe the sigh of relief is now he'll have a chance at offense. Or did I say that? I made Creams as it falls right into his path. A pre-flip into the reset carry. Stopped by one, but not from Hockey. Light tap well over the bar.
Well, when bars come back as a rebound, that was stopped by Helix, an epically save. It was a desperation spike to put that ball on the other side of the pitch.
Helix trying to take this 50, bounce down. Simas not going to beat out Cream. Zanil fully boosted up, but so is Hockey trying to find that back post. Helix minimal boost, trying to land, just get the deflection, does not grab it. Zanil, light tap met by Crispy. The reads from Concord, really the main thing keeping them in right now. They are going to seemingly knock it on death's door in this type of game because there's so many times Northwood is inches away from the goal, but Concord gets the brave read and be able to follow through with it.
Yeah, I think the reads are kind of helping them out. A, and then B is definitely skirting those bumps and demo attempts, except for that one, I guess. Be able to go ahead and skirt away from those and give themselves an opportunity to score. I guess they learned very quickly what happened in game 2, and that's why they're trying to counteract that.
Some bump in front of goal, getting me real anxious. I'm sure the Concord fans in chat, because I know there are many of them. They've gained a lot of fans outside of just their student body, but you can't be saying that you're going to be comfortable watching these series, especially on these low boost defensive efforts. That was another one floating right in front of goal. Fortunately for them, Northwood was out to lunch on offense and now on defense potentially as well. Open shot, that near post has something to say about it.
So many shots right in front of the frame, not going in. It's nothing to get anyone frustrated, but every time a ball leaves a battle car's fender, I'm like, this could be it. This could be the dagger, but out of nowhere, someone reads it, clears it off the line.
Felix only gets partial touch. Crispy not on the backboard. He goes to the goal. That might be the downfall as Creams produces a triple commit. Another 50. Crispy trying to beat out Zanil, and he will do admirably, but it's still in the mixer. Just kind of rebounding all the way around. Cream's open shot, and eventually it has to go through.
Wow, look, I knew the levy was going to break, but I didn't think it was going to be that at all. This one here is just a classic bump on the front post. On the other side, no one in the back defending, and that was easy peasy for Northwood. Can Concord come back in Utopia? That's the question on my mind there, Taco.
Well, fortunately for Concord, they don't have to reverse sweep, but it feels kind of like that right now, having to win 2 straight to be able to take this series against a team definitely on the revenge path, trying to make sure that they can prove that they are still at the very top, despite being sent to that lower bracket. Helix trying to make sure that they are getting through those defenders by trying to go through those defenders, not making any contact so far. Zanil, however, has other accuracy.
Yeah, no more time for dainty or small attacks. You got to put everything full bore. Battering ram style will totally help either team, especially Concord, because they're flying from behind.
Range gets a lot of that clear, but so does Helix, being able to tap that one into Simas. It's going to be Crispy, tap down. Simas going to be able to turn for this one. 50 going to be won by Creams. He doesn't have too much support, but Hockey is lurking on that back post. Maybe trying to latch on to this one. Kind of a premature jump from him, but at the end of the day, Northwood still free-flowing. So is Simas going for the dribble bump. It's going to be underneath Creams. Leaping over it, get the save.
Oh, man, Crispy tried to be here to get the rebound. That could be the bad idea. And wow, bumping your own teammate right in front of net. It's wide open. And Zanil tried as he might. Wow, that could have been really bad there for that orange side.
Creams. Low air dribble. Helix knows it. You can see just trying to take that 50 as slow as possible so it doesn't ricochet out into a weird position, but Hockey's going to put one into a supernaturally nice position. Look at this touch and continuation.
Kind of just rolled it around the wall. It's easy peasy. Sometimes you say, I'm going to put it here. Hopefully someone got me, but Creams got you. 1-0 Northwood.
Really do like that one from Hockey, being able to land after the 50, then just immediately go to the side wall and then get the lightest of taps. Sometimes being out to the defense isn't really just getting the perfect pass right on a platter, cutting across the field, 90-degree angles, whatever. It's just finding people in space. How about this one from Helix? Crispy is seen on that back post.
A little bit of hesitation there on my end. I was like, did it go into the net decide otherwise? But hey, look, it was the right place, right positioning, and sometimes the gods work in your favor. We're once again tied there.
Solid chase down, as Concord knows that those opportunities aren't going to come around every day. Especially nice when you do have someone actually already boosted up to be able to chase it down. Helix getting chased down at the sidewall, still saves his flick. It's a close angle for Creams, who will circumvent that pressure somewhat to get it to the corner. And now Concord seemingly comfortable back in their positions, trying to go left and right, be able to police how far this clear can come out and what they can reach. That's a flip reset, trying to get the pass on a pre-jump is Simas.
Look, I understand the idea of going for finesse there, but sometimes that was a bit too much finesse. You had a little bit of a second there to put something in with force, with authority, decided against it, and now you don't have a goal being scored.
Crispy from the ceiling with a flip. High lob. Greaves is going to have a much cleaner angle on this one, so Helix will back up actually with a flip, which kind of takes him completely out of the play. I understand you want to play kind of a midfield, somewhat police how everything is going to progress, but the thing is, he's not going to be a factor if he keeps turning around a lot of these challenges. It's killing the Concord defense. They got to trust in that rotation.
Yeah, I think trust is the operative word. I feel like a lot more trust is being employed by the Northwood side, and it does seem that Concord wants everyone to go into business for themselves. And I'm not going to say it's the end, but it's definitely a different Concord we're seeing right now than we saw in that last series.
See Simas again, try to fake out one. Zanil gonna take the bait for number 2, and he's gonna continue off the side wall. That 50 will technically take out another one, but boost is really going to be a rare commodity. Creeps on the recovery, steals the mid boost, so Helix just has to watch and hope and get a bump, and probably a ghost touch as Zanil is going to have to deal with that first shot of almost a miracle double save, but Hockey's gonna make no mistake on the putback.
This is off to the races. The inbound pass and Neil, and Hockey decides to go be the second option, and second option is what you need there to really put the intimidation factor on the defense. Didn't need a second option, but the formation itself ensured a goal was going to be scored either way.
Of course, Maz, one of the hardest saves in the game, in my opinion, when it gets shot directly at you when you're stationary. There's only so much you can move left and right to be able to deflect it wide, but even worse for them is that this starts the death timer. It's game 4, Northwood on match point. This is going to be the end of the road for Concord if they can't get something together to at least equalize this game. Pass in, Helix somehow stands in the way.
Yeah, I do feel the pressure is being felt there from Concord the first time in a long time, even though they're okay with being like a quicksand. Sometimes they find a way to get out. So you're seeing everyone being pushed forward, almost a 1-9 formation. This was soccer, to be honest with you. It's an opportunity for them there, and that's knocked away from the side.
Open shot for Helix, but unfortunately he still had an angle to work with. Crispy, pat down, Greaves right down the middle. It's going to be over the shoulder of Helix, so Simas going to have to get that boost, try to carry it all the way back. He's going to fake it down, trying to get past Zanil. Open space. Crispy might be able to get a pass here. He's going to leave it for Simas. Little of a feint, sleight of hand even. Helix across the corner. Zanil getting bothered in the goal. Where is Crispy? Open shot. He won't choose the pass. It's not going to be top corner. Pass down in the middle again is going to be into Helix. Air dribble denied. Concord try as they might, cannot find their path through.
Crispy wanted that one back because that was a chance to really be a hero, and it was missed. And to be honest with you, Crispy is so good, I would have gone in 8 out of 10 times.
Crispy trying to chase this one down. Minimal boost. Zanil knows it. Fake underneath one. He's going to get the lob over the second up until the deflection. So a little bit of hesitation there. Simas trying to beat out Hockey, but masterful control from the ceiling, taking a 50 that will deflect again into the Concord corner. Every 50, every touch by Northwood, draining off precious seconds.
Precious seconds it is, man. Last gasp as for Concord. Can they pull something out their hat? Can they force a game 5? Here's the last opportunity here. Hockey beats them, and this could be it here, Taco. Is something going to happen? Are we getting magic?
Not if Greaves has anything to say about it. He's trying to keep that air dribble as close as possible. Flip reset, looking for the top shelf. Crispy does well to keep underneath it. Helix does the same. Pass to Simas, gonna be 15'd. And unfortunately, there's no Cinderella run here. Concord will not be repeating. Northwood still stays on that revenge.